go swimming. John climbed up on the diving board. Neil asked me, "Can he swim?" I said, "I don't know, but we're going to find out." About that time, John jumped in the water. He dog paddled over to the edge of the pool, climbed out, ran around, got up on the board again, and jumped off. But it didn't take John long to learn to swim.
Not even 2 years old, well, she'd see Bonnie in the front room playing with something, and she'd want it, and of course Bonnie wouldn't give it to her. Well, she'd go in the back room, and pretty soon she's laughing and banging stuff around like she's just having a ball back there. Of course, Bonnie'd have to get up to go see what fun she was having, and as soon as she got her interested in whatever she was doing, she'd come back out the front room and get whatever Bonnie had that she wanted. Lorna, of course, wanted to pull it out and see what was in that drawer. Well, it was a sewing box, so there was needles and scissors and even razor blades in there. And so I was down there telling her no, and she'd look at me and reach out there while I got to where I'd slap her hand. And she'd stick that hand behind her and put the other hand out there. I'd slap it, and she'd stick that hand behind her and put this one out here. And so pretty soon finally I just reached over and I flipped her hand. And away she went crying.
They slept upstairs in the big house there. And their mother had a wooden spoon. And when they were supposed to go to bed at night, it didn't get quiet up there very soon. Why? She was threatening them with a wooden spoon, and I think, I recall, she went up there. I don't know whether she really used a spoon or not. I probably doubt it. But they quieted down after that. I'm sure they remember what really happened up there.
When John and Lorna got married at the church, they come down the aisle, and Lorna come to me and Barb and told us goodbye. I was fine till she said that, goodbye. Then I realized she was leaving. We had a dance for him at the Grange, and the father and daughter dance. She come and got me. Her dad was there, but she come and got me to dance with her. And she says, "You know that I realize you're my dad." And that kind of shook me up. Nah, she's a good girl. They've been good to each other.
I used to make dresses for her when she was tiny. I kind of like to sew then. It was a lot more fun to sew for a little girl than it was for boys.
Yeah, when she's about 3 years old, she's really getting cute, and we had to load her up and haul her off to California to see her aunties down there and show her off. They thought she was all right, and that we should ought to probably think about keeping her.
We had a little calf pasture beside the house out on the dairy. And I don't know just what happened, but I think he got scared of the calf, started crying. I remember the tears rolling down his cheeks, but he was still happy to be there by that pretty little calf.
She was working in harvest and she was driving truck. She took off down the road and and somebody hollered and said, "There isn't any wheat in the back of that." Well, she didn't hear her, of course, and so she got clear down to the elevator and she got out and looked in the truck. There wasn't anything in the truck. She'd taken off without having anything put in the truck, and she was quite embarrassed about that.
Yeah. Well, one thing I remember about Jim the first time he came to our house, the dog was pretty careful about who saw Tressa, and he'd run them, the boyfriends in the basement or up a tree or something, or back in their car. And when Jim came, he didn't do anything. He just thought he was all right. So Tressa thought if the dog liked him, he must be all right.
I wondered, what's this girl like? And imagine Bob Warren's wondered about this long skinny kid that was marrying his daughter too. But I think they had a great life.
All fathers hope that they can find a man sometime. And don't have to support him all our life.
She's been a joy for his daughter-in-law.
Well, after 35 years, I don't think they need much advice anymore.
But, my mother told me, don't ever go to bed mad.
I only had 2.5 years after my 35th wedding anniversary before Joanne died. So my advice to the kids on their 35th anniversary is cherish what you have.
Because they've done such a good job with each other and raising their kids.
Anyway, we think that marriage has been pretty doggone good because we've invited them back for 35 years for Thanksgiving dinner.